Welcome back, tribe. We have one here. I just found this one over on X. After spending 14 years in jail, woman meets the man she falsely accused of raping her. Oh my God, dude. I hate watching these. They're so terrible. 14 years of your life gone. False accusation.
Let me introduce you.
And I somehow am expecting the pity party to be for the women, and she's going to start crying, and everybody's going to be consoling her and telling her it's okay when the man just lost 14 years of his entire life. Not a single tear shed for him, though.
Let me introduce you to Dean. I don't believe y'all have met before.
There it is. Look at him. Look at his tears.
It's all right. You can have a seat right here.
Why are they consoling her?
Dean, let me introduce you to Loretta. And this is her husband as well, Monty. And I'm very happy to say that y'all haven't really met before, but here you are. So, Loretta, tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now.
I'm scared. To see his face again is scary.
What?
And
what are you afraid of?
You've seen his face in the meat market, and you've seen his face in court, but you haven't seen his face in an alley, and you haven't seen his face other places, and you get
Right.
that up here, right?
I hate to be that guy, dude. I'm not saying this is her case, but in some of these cases, how many times was a woman sneaking around and just falsely accused a dude of forcing himself on her to rid herself of the accountability of cheating on her partner? Man, I've heard some messed up stories like that. They're out there, by the way. If you've been buying some shirts supporting the channel, thank you so much. Grab our Deli 2030, Bill Gates approved. Have your bug sandwiches be an NPC. You will own nothing and you will be happy with your 3X cricket protein. Anywho, let's get back to this. Appreciate you guys.
But it's still emotional down here.
Links in the comments.
Yes.
Tell me
So
what
emotional.
you're thinking and feeling right now.
Like he lost 14 years, bro.
I just hate that you had to go through something like this. I hate that I had to go through something like this because of this situation. And I hope and pray that we both can get closure in this.
14 years.
What do you think about what Dean had to say?
Where's my apology? 14 fucking years.
I'm sorry that you lost.
– 14 years.
I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to tell the truth. I'm so sorry.
Disgusting. Everybody, even the dude that spent 14 years has to console her. Bro.
But you're doing good, Loretta. Stay with us here.
Oh, yes. Baby her, dude, like she's a child. You're doing great, sweetie. Say some more words.
I think you need to understand, and some of the things that you haven't heard Dean say, but he gets that you were 15 and he gets that you were hurt really, really bad by somebody. And he hates that for you. What do you want to say about that, Dean?
Yeah, I hate you had to go through something like that. I hate now that you have children, that your kids have to go through something like that. And I hope and pray each day that you can get closure. And this day, I accept your apologies.
Man, 14 years on a wrongful conviction. The state better be paying up the ass. I don't know what the payments amounts are or what would you even consider that worth it. But if this man hasn't at least landed a couple mil.
What's the hardest thing about this right now, Loretta?
Sending a man falsely accusing him 14 years.
Here, next to him.
Why?
What makes that hard?
Come on, Dr. Phil, get on her ass.
Ashamed.
Finally.
I
Okay.
feel like I did something wrong.
You did. You falsely accused the guy.
Have you accepted in your mind, I know y'all talked about this before and after we talked yesterday, you've accepted in your mind that this is not the person that did this to you?
After talking to you and my husband, yes.
What? Didn't this guy get changed by his court? His case got cleared from DNA evidence, if I'm not mistaken. What is she talking about? After my husband and speaking with you on the phone, I can move on. You can move on? You sent a man to prison for 14 years who wasn't the guy that did you wrong. And you're the one that has to be convinced that it's not actually this guy, and that even though the DNA proved it, you still need to talk to your husband and him on the phone. And you're the one that's all shaken about this entire thing. 14 years, this dude lost his entire life. Where are his friends? Where's his family? After 14 years of being accused of that stuff, do you think anybody even wants to be your friend anymore? Do you think your family is even by your side if there's any left? What future do you have? You missed out on, how old was this guy when he got charged? Who knows, man? College? Gone? High school maybe? Gone? Depends on how early he got booked. Who knows? This guy's life is upside down. 14 years. You get back out into the real world, and God, can you imagine how different it was 14 years ago and stepping out into the world today? And where are you going to get jobs? Where are you going to work? What kind of trauma and shit did you experience? The things you had to do to survive in prison. Things you should have never seen and should have never been a part of. And every single day you're spending in that jail cell, when you wake up or go to bed on those hard ass foams that might as well be made out of metal, with the shitty prison food they give you, and everybody's pissed and hating to be there, and looking at somebody wrong is going to cause an altercation, and forced to be with your own kind because you can't even mingle with the rest of the population. It's a racial thing in there with the gangs. And you got to do this day in and day out, bro, knowing you're innocent and you are not guilty. But sure, let's all coddle her.
So
Unreal. I'm curious what the comments are saying. I think women who lie on men about this type of stuff should spend double the amount of time in jail. He'll never get those 14 years back. The crazy part was her trying to play victim. That B should go to jail for 14 years. Scummy ass F. I feel like I did something wrong. Oh my God. Women should go to jail for false accusations. Seriously. This guy says, wouldn't be me. Is the woman going to serve any jail time? Obviously not. I'm about to spend another 14 because ain't no way. This guy says, number one, she still believes he did it. She wouldn't even think he's innocent if it weren't for Dr. Phil. 2, why did they bring him on the show if she's going to steal all the sympathy and make it about her? Of course. 3, he was in jail for 14 years. She's not acknowledging his trauma. Oh, you thought you were going to get your trauma acknowledged, bro? You think men were going to get pity and empathy from the crowd? Absolutely not. You're a man. You're disposable. You don't matter. You're a predator by default. He got sent to prison. He gets out on a wrongful conviction. Nobody cares about his tears. Nobody's consoling him. The crowd doesn't want to hear from him. And everybody's eyes are on the woman and her nice little crocodile tears. And I feel like I've done something wrong. Oh, just ruined a guy's life casually 14 years. No problemo. Just put the blame on somebody that wasn't there and wasn't a part of your trauma. Women. Feel so sorry for the dude who had to waste 14 years of his life, and all the men currently convicted right now, falsely serving time in jail for things they did not do. A lot of times, this always includes women. There are a lot of men in prison and 6 feet under, all because of women, all because of a lie. The women you associate yourself with is so important in life, guys. It's not just about dating. It's not just about marriage. It's about the people who you choose to have around you, and the areas you move in, and the crowds you're a part of. That's absolutely key. Keeping yourself safe from things like this requires that you spend time around quality people. Quality women, especially. Now they're a tool used to destroy any man. If you ever rise up in society, they will be people coming, knocking through your past, trying to pay people off, say nasty things about you, and women will be weaponized against you. It's happened to multiple people in recent events. False accusations have now become the establishment's go-to weapon to discredit somebody. And they figured out that one's not enough. If you get a little bit of fame or money or be in a position of power or influence, they need to get multiple women. It's not hard to offer somebody from your past that may be disgruntled, maybe you had a bad breakup, $50,000. Go ahead, say something. $50,000, we want you to say this, fabricate this, say this happened, say he did this, and they'll give another one $50,000 and one more $50,000, and that's your ass. In the public court, you will be deemed guilty just by the headline saying, man did this, man accused of this. You haven't even started the trial yet, baby. You just got accused. You're already guilty in the court of public opinion. How many famous men has it happened to recently? Some still with ongoing cases. Now imagine what would happen to an average man that gets accused of something falsely without the resources to fight back or the reputation to potentially guard him and make sure the case is following the law stringently. Because there's a lot of shoddy court cases where dudes are spending time in jail right now because the eye isn't on the judge, the prosecutor, or the lawyers to make sure they're doing everything by the book. And for the average man, that's usually the case. You will get screwed in court. You really have a massive bias for women. It takes significant funds that you cannot afford on an average salary, and automatically your entire social circle will crumble around you, because who wants to be associated with a rapist? Who wants to be associated with somebody who's doing struggle snuggles and assaults and whatever else to the fair sex? Believe all of them first. That's the world we live in. That's why a lot of men are checking out, going their own way, choosing to not play the game at all, or getting a passport and going overseas. We live in a toxic environment where men are hated. We live in an environment that's still following old world rules where women were to be believed and were more trustworthy and weren't so morally bankrupt. But those days, the 1910s, 20s, those days are gone. Women have now eclipsed men in most metrics. They earn more than men on average. They own more homes than men. They go to college more than men, yada, yada, yada. We have a society of female supremacy, and now they're abusing the unwritten rules of society, which is pointing a finger at a man and having the system turn on you, because it was needed back in 1910, 1920, when there were very little rights for women. But that's now turned on its head, and women have weaponized this system of trust that we used to have between the genders and have turned it on its head against men. And now you got guys where just a phone call from your woman screaming and crying on the phone while she's ripping her shirt, hitting herself, scratching herself, saying, you did this to me, results in your ass going to prison. Almost no questions asked. At least you get removed from your own property. That's what's wild. Phone call, bro. A word. Isn't that insane? So much for the patriarchy they tell us they live under. And the woman says, I'm sorry, but I feel that once it's known that it was a false accusation, the accuser should face time for lying under oath. 14 years is wild. She needs some time for that. That's why she's really crying. When she said, I feel like I've done something bad, the tears are really for, I don't want to pay for the consequences. Which means if we lived in a righteous society, she'd be heading to prison. She'd be paying him some form of restitution for 14 years of his life lost. But we don't have justice in the world that we live in today, unfortunately. Anyways, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for those that purchased shirts yet again. If you haven't, please join our private community. Become a part of a group. Start your self-improvement journey. Start working on yourself. Get ahead in life. Become the man you dream of being. And we'll see you on the next one, boys.